Hi everyone, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to be talking about before update and after update triggers in Salesforce. Okay, so before we get started, let's have a look at the agenda for this session. So first we'll discuss about what before update triggers are in Salesforce, and then we'll discuss a use case, and then we'll go ahead and implement that use case. Okay, and then moving on, we'll also discuss about after update triggers that we have in Salesforce, and then again we'll talk about a use case and we'll go ahead and implement that use case. Okay, so let's just get started. So if you guys have already watched my previous session, you would be knowing what a before trigger is, right? So if you want to perform any kind of custom action or any task, if you want to be executed and you want that to be executed before the record is basically saved into the database, then you use before triggers, right? So in case of before update, we are going to do the same thing. If we want to, let's say, validate any record, or let's say if you want to pre-populate any value, right, before the record is saved into the database, then you will write that particular logic under before update. Okay, so here I've listed a scenario which is we have a field called phone on account object, right? So what I want is that if somebody goes to an existing account record and if they are updating the phone number, then I have another field on account which is called description. The description field should get updated either with the text or with the same phone number value that is being updated on the phone field. Okay, so let's move to the developer console and start writing the logic for this. Okay, so let me switch to my developer console. Here it is. So this is the same account trigger that we used in the last session, and this is the handler class that we had created. So what we'll go here is, well, first of all, what we want to do, we want to do this particular logic in before update, right? So let's just go ahead and include that event first. Okay, before update, right? And then what I will do here is I will define another condition for update. Okay, and here I will type in as update. So it should work only on update. Okay, so if it is update, then what I want to do is I will put this condition. Okay, and here, so if it is an update update context, and if it is before, right, before update, on before update I want to perform that logic. So what I would be doing is I will create another function. I will define another function into the handler class and I will call that function over here. Okay, so let's just let me give it a name as update ACC description. Okay, on phone change. Okay, so let me just copy this, go ahead and let's just go ahead and create another function over here. Okay, and this is the function name. Okay, and there's one more thing that I want to make sure. Okay, so if, let's say, if anybody goes to the account and updates the phone number, let's say if somebody goes into the edit mode of the account record and they do not update the phone number, right? So I always want to check if the phone number is updated, then only my logic should run, otherwise not, right? Because somebody can go into the edit mode for the account record and they can simply hit on save, or they can change some other value and they are not changing the phone, right? So my trigger logic will be executed for no reason, right? So that is why I want to make sure that whenever the phone is changed, then only I want to basically execute this particular code logic for trigger. Okay, so what I would be doing is, if you guys remember from the context variables, we have something also called old map, right? So I will also be passing here trigger dot old map. Okay, because that will give me the existing instance of the record. Okay, so old map, and so first I have to save this. And then here, so here, what am I passing? I'm passing trigger.new and trigger.old map. Okay, so for this, I would have to define a list, and for this, I would have to define a map. Okay, so here first, let's define a list of account. Okay, and let's call it as new list. Okay, and then I would have to define a map. And then map I will be giving for ID and account. This will give me the existing instance of the record. Okay, and let's call it as old map. Okay, so here is my method. And now if I go and save the record, trigger, it should get saved. Okay, so now I'll just go ahead and start writing the logic. Okay, so for the new instance, right, for the new instance, that means the record that is being updated, for that particular record I will start writing a loop. I guess you guys remember for this, like, why are we doing it in a loop? Because if you are using data loader and any other means of, like, updating multiple records, then it should run for all the records, right? So here I want the new instance, right, the new instance of the record. And what I want to check is, I want to check before updating, right, before updating the description, I want to check if the phone number is changed. So how will I do it? I will first put a condition here. First I want to make sure that if it is an update, right, if if the old record is getting changed, let's say if somebody just simply goes to the edit mode of the account and changes nothing and just simply hits on save, then I don't want to trigger this logic. So I want to make sure if there is any change in the existing record. So what will I do? I will first check if this is not null, that means it is an update call. Okay, not is equals to null. And then what I want to check is, I want to check if the phone number is changed. So how can I check that? I can compare the old phone number with the new phone number that is being put, right? And if they are not equal, that means the user is updating the phone number, right? If it is not equal. So how will I do it? So acc.phone, okay? So acc.phone is not equals to old map, okay? And from, if you guys already know about, how a map works, so in order to get a value from the map, we can use this function dot get, okay? And here if I provide the id, right, I will get the respective value. If I provide the key, I will get the value. So what I can provide here, I have to provide the account id, right, which would be acc.id, right, this acc.id. Now what is this going to return to me, right? This will return me the whole account record, right? But I want only phone field. So what would I do? Dot phone. Okay, so here I have compared. Okay, so if my old map account's phone is not equals to the new instance of the account phone, that means the phone is getting updated, and that is when I want to update the account description field. Okay, so acc dot description and I want to update it with, let's say, phone modified. Okay, phone modified. And then I can simply say new phone is here, sorry, here. And then I can put the new account phone number, okay, dot phone. And then, okay. So I checked two things over here. I checked if the old record is getting updated, right? I made sure that it is getting updated. And then I also made sure that if the phone is getting changed, then only I want to update the description. Otherwise, it should not get executed. Okay. So let me save this. And now let's just move to the org and see if it is working or not. Okay. So this is already an existing account record. I can use the same account. Let's use the same account. And here what I want to do is, if my phone is blank, right? And if I go here and if I see the description, it is also blank. So if I change anything on the phone, that should get updated in the description, right? Whatever I want to update in the description, whatever I have mentioned in the code, it should update accordingly. Okay, so let's just go to phone and I'm keeping a random value here. Okay, and let me hit on save. Okay, so here you can see, right, phone modified, new phone is, and I had given the new instance account phone number, right? So that is why it also gave me the phone number. Okay, so this is how you can basically implement your before update trigger. Okay, now let's just move ahead and see that let's just go back to the PPT and see the other scenario. Okay, so here for after update, right? Let's say after the record is saved to the database, and keep in mind that saved and not committed. Okay, after the record is saved into the database, and if you want to make sure, or if you want to change any other record or update any other value in any some in any other record, right, then you can use after update, right? So in this scenario, what we are doing is we are doing something similar to the previous one. We will be updating the account phone number, and whatever phone number I would be giving on the account, right, while updating it, I want that phone number to be also updated on the associated opportunity. Okay, in the previous session we saw, right, we created we auto created opportunities on account, right? So that is how we saw that how account is related to opportunities. So what I want to do is, whatever phone number I would be giving on the account, I want all the related opportunities to be updated with the same phone number, okay, what I have provided on the account, and that should happen after update. Okay, and once this particular scenario gets validated, after that the record will be committed to the database. Okay, so let's go back to the developer console and start writing it. Okay, so let's just go here and give another condition here. Okay, so I want to make sure this is after, right? After update. Okay, and here I will be defining another function, and I will be passing the same thing, because in this case also I have to compare if there is a change on the phone number, then only it should be updating the related opportunities, otherwise not. So here I will give it as update related op phone. Okay, and let me just copy this. Let's just go ahead and define another function. Okay, let's just take the same parameters over here. Okay, and let me save this so that I can go back to the trigger and save it. This is saved. Okay, so yes. So here and this is my new list. Okay, again for multiple records we are doing this. Okay, so now what I have to do is I also have to, because there could be multiple existing account records, right, where again through a data loader or something, you can basically perform an update on multiple account records, right? So what I would be doing is I would be creating a map of all the IDs and their associated account records. Okay, so let me first define a map here, ID and then account. Okay, and then let's call it as account ID to ACC map. Okay, and then new, this is my map. Okay, now what will I do? Again, I have to check the same condition, right? If old map is not null and if there's a change in the phone. Okay, if this is the case, then what I would be doing is I would be filling up that map that I have just created. Okay, I will just keep all the IDs. Okay, so let me, okay, so this is the map, and map dot put, this is how you fill in a map. And what is the what is my map? ID and account. So I have to give the ID and then the account, right? And from where I will get the ID? ID is nothing but your acc.id. Okay, acc.id, and then I will pass the account. Okay, acc, right? This will have the whole account record. Okay, so now I have my map. Now what I want to do, I want to make an update on all the associated opportunities of these accounts, right? So what I would be doing is I have to query the opportunity, right? So I will query the opportunity and then I will iterate over that, and then I will go ahead and make the update on the opportunities phone. Okay, so here let's just take let's not create another list, because I'll show you how we can do this. We can basically either create a list and then query the opportunity records, or while writing the loop itself, what I can do is I can write the query over there. Okay, so for opportunity. So this is what I was talking about. I can write the query directly here. I don't have to write it separately and then pass it here. Okay. So select ID, account ID, and then phone. Let me just go ahead and check what phone field I have on opportunity. And then here, there's no phone field. So let me just go ahead and create one. Okay. Or what I can do is there should be something called description, I believe. Description. Okay. Let's just go ahead and update the description. Okay. So here, description from opportunity. Okay. Where account ID, right? I want to query the opportunities with, like, wherever, we are making the changes, or wherever the changes are getting applied to, right? And where we have kept those details under account ID to account map, right? So for all these IDs, right? So account ID in, and then we can actually use this map to get the account IDs. We will use the key set method of the map. Okay. Dot key set this. Okay. And then, okay. So what we have done is we are just querying all the opportunities where account ID is in this maps key set, basically all these account IDs. Okay. So we are querying all those opportunities. Okay. Now what we have to do next? We have to basically, update the description, right? We are updating the description because we don't have a phone field on opportunity. Okay. So what I have to do is I will first check if this map contains the account ID or not. Okay. So how we can do that? If, let me just, so if this map, okay, if my opportunity exists in this map, then only I want to go ahead and write the logic. Okay. Dot, we have a method called contains key, I believe. Yes, contains key. And what do I have to pass the key as? Account ID, right? So what would be my account ID? OPP dot account ID, right? Because one account can have multiple opportunities, right? So I have to make sure that which opportunity, for which account, which is the respective opportunity for which I'm going to make the change, right? So that is why I have to check this. Okay. Which is the account ID, right? Which is the account ID for which I'm going to make the opportunity update on. If I don't put this check, it will, it will basically update on any random record. Okay. So you have to check that for which account and for which respective opportunity we are going to make the update. Okay. So what will I do here? This opportunity, okay, this opportunity dot description, right? Description. I want to update the description with what? Description with the account's phone number. Okay. And from where will I get the account phone number? I can get the account's phone number from the map, right? So what is my map? This is my map. And what do I have to use? I have to use the get, right? And then what it will expect you to pass? It will expect you to pass the ID, right? And where do you have the ID? Account ID here. Opportunity dot account ID. And then which field do I want? I want the phone field, right? So phone. Okay. So basically my opportunities description would be updated with the accounts phone, right? So and then because we are making a cross object update, right? So we have to define a list and then accumulate this data into that list, and then we have to perform the DML on that list. Okay. So let's just go ahead and create another list of opportunity. Okay. So opportunity list op to be updated. Okay. So here I'll just go ahead and add this opportunity over here. Okay. So, and then this is my for loop here. It is ending here. So what will I do if this list is not empty, right? So this list dot is empty and I put a not check. So what I want to do is I want to basically update the opportunity, right? So I have to use update and then this list. Okay. There is some error on this line. Let's just go ahead and description for an opportunity where no such column as, okay, there's a spelling mistake over here. Account ID. Okay, 1 second. Account ID. Let me just go ahead and check it. Okay, the correct name. Account ID. Oh, it is wrong here, not there. Okay, so we have the logic in place. What we are doing is we are just creating a map of ID and all the account records that we have, and then we are querying the opportunities, and then we are checking if that particular map contains, and we are iterating over that opportunity list, and we are checking that for each and every opportunity, right? We are checking that if that map contains that particular opportunity, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going ahead and updating the description for that opportunity with the account's phone number. Okay, so let's just go ahead, and I've already called this method in the trigger, I believe. Yes, so let's just go ahead and check if this works. So let's say this is my phone number and I already have an opportunity over here. Let me open the opportunity. And let me also open the account. So this is account. And this is my opportunity. Okay, let me go to the details and see if I have the description field on the layout. Yes, I have it, right? And it is blank for now. So I'll go ahead and update the account's phone number. And when I update the phone number, the description of the opportunity should get updated. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do it. So let me put it as, okay, or let me put something else like easy to identify. Okay, so first of all, this description got the before update would have got executed, right? So it updated this, and let's just go ahead and refresh the opportunity. Okay, this did not get updated. 1 second. Okay, so we have everything here, and let me just check the function call. Okay, like this. We have the whole. Okay, we have to include the event, right? That is why it didn't get executed. So this is after update, right? And then let's just save it. And then let's go back to the org, and this is opportunity, and this is account, right? No, this is opportunity. Let me go back to the account and update the phone number. Okay, so I will update it as now let's go to the opportunity and details. So here it is, right? It did not execute because we had not included the event, right? We have to include the event, otherwise it will not be able to identify the context variables that we had given over here, right? These. Okay, so that is why it did not enter into this, and it did not call the function. Okay, so this is how you can implement any logic in your before update and after update. In the next session, we'll see how delete and undelete event works. Okay, so till then, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the next session.